This podcast episode is brought to you by my Business Basics class. I teach you the 8 essential steps to get your business legal and legit so you can watch it bloom. You'll learn the basics of what is an LLC and the first steps to opening one up, opening a business bank account, how to find an accountant, what is bookkeeping and how can you do it yourself to save some money, what contracts and legal documents to consider and where you can buy them, the starting point for saving for your retirement, how to find a financial advisor, and where to start looking for business insurance. When you avoid getting all these ducks in a row, you are risking getting sued, paying more in taxes, and missing out on turning your income into more money. Head to jessicawhitaker.co/businessbasics to enroll. Hey photographer, Jessica Whitaker here. Welcome back to the Build and Bloom Photography Podcast. Today's episode is going to be a huge sigh of relief for those who are struggling with planning out their social media content. Because guess what? We are going to throw that all in the trash. It is irrelevant when it comes to this episode and this strategy that I guarantee you most likely aren't doing, or you're majorly procrastinating on getting it done. I know you've probably already seen the title, but any guesses on what we're talking about today? We are talking about SEO with blogging your galleries. And before you exit out, because it's such a boring topic, this is what brings in my clientele. I used to book clients 6-7 years ago pretty consistently through Instagram, but now all of my inquiries come from Google search, and I can tell because of my Google Analytics, and when they fill out my contact form, it almost always says Google search. I've been teaching photography on YouTube for 10 years, and I also run the first ever photography community. It's called Build and Bloom. There's a Facebook group that goes along with this podcast, and this is the best place to ask questions about your specific photography business. Whether you're having a difficult client situation and you need help responding, or you want an extra set of eyes on a gallery before you send it out, Build and Bloom is my best free resource. You can find it over on Facebook groups. And so many members of the Build and Bloom community, as well as my own peers and my friends, always are asking about Instagram strategy and feeling pretty overwhelmed with the amount of content that we are expected to make in order to stand out on the algorithm. And Instagram, don't get me wrong, it's good for consistency, but if you can hone in and commit to blogging your galleries, that can bring you in clients and relieve the pressure of keeping up with social media. Blogging is also where you are able to book very specific clients based off of what you're posting. So for example, I have a kind of an infamous blog post. I love to use that as an example because it's like the best ever. I did a Columbia graduation blog post in 2022, and it is still my top performing blog post, and I get consistent inquiries for Columbia grads because of this now 3-year-old blog post, and I didn't even do anything crazy with it. And we're going to talk more about what I did and how I linked to other Columbia University blog posts, all that in a second. But blogs are where clients can find you for specific wedding venues or even popular locations. And the best part is that they can book you directly through your website because your blog lives on your website. So you're more likely to get an inquiry from that person versus if they came across an amazing Instagram reel of the same exact photo shoot and concept, but the likeliness of them going to your profile, checking out where you're based, going to your website, filling out a contact form, it kind of decreases every step, because the chance of them going to your website and completing that form, because there's so many hoops that they have to jump through. And the sense of Instagram is so distracting. They can easily get distracted and exit out of your profile, find something else, scroll down on accident, and then they totally forgot, or maybe they get distracted by looking at your stories, whatever it might be. Can you see how with blog posts, it's so much easier because all they have to do is click a link and they're already within your website. And your website is the best representation of your branding. The possibilities with website design and use of color and fonts and illustrations and displaying your work is truly endless. But if you are struggling with branding, or you're struggling to get creative with your branding and really have it represent your true artistic voice and stand out from other photographers, go to lightscamerabrands.com, because this is my online course where I teach you how to brand your photography business to bring in more clients and have a brand that truly reflects you as an artist and stands the test of time and doesn't conform to any trends. I'm an amazing testament to this because I've had the same color palette since 2016 and the same website since 2019, and my branding has not changed. It has not needed to change because of what I've learned over the 10 years of teaching photography online. Everything you know about branding is wrapped up on lightscamerabrand.com. Before we go any further, I have a handful of resources that will be in the description box below wherever you're listening. So I'm going to have a blogging tool linked down below that will help you actually upload all of the images onto your Squarespace website or whatever platform you use, so that you don't have to individually wait and upload each photo into a gallery. And then I'm also going to have a compiled list of all of my blogging tools. I've even done other podcast episodes with my friends on SEO and blogging. And then I also will have a website checklist download linked down below. It's totally free, and I encourage everybody to check it out because it goes through some key pieces of information you need to have on your website in order for it to be easier for clients to book with you. And remember that my YouTube channel has 10 years worth of free photography video resources. Another tool that you will want to get is Google Analytics. I have Google Analytics hooked up to my Squarespace account, and it shows me so much data and analytics and information on what people are searching, how much time people are spending on each page. And I can see actually every month I get emailed a report from Google Analytics with like my top 5 search queries of how people found my website when they searched on Google, and then also like my top performing pages, which usually are blog posts. And Columbia University graduation photos have consistently for the past year been in that top search inquiry about how people are finding my website. So I believe Google Analytics is free, and I don't know if you have Show if you can use Google Analytics. I don't know. I'm sure you can, but I've been using Squarespace for 10 years, and it's what I recommend for everybody. I'm actually a partner at Squarespace, which is amazing. I was a customer before I was a partner. So you can go to squarespace.com/Jessica Whitaker to get 10% off and to do a 14-day free trial. I believe that Squarespace trumps everything because it is the most in-depth website platform for SEO. If you're looking to switch to a website platform this year, maybe you're going from Pixieset and you want to take the next step, then I highly recommend Squarespace, especially over Showit, because Showit does not have all of the capacity, all of the capabilities that Squarespace does, especially when it comes to SEO. If you're compelled to use Showit because of their drag and drop feature website builder, Squarespace just rolled out, in my opinion, something to rival the Showit platform, which is called Squarespace Blueprint AI. I used it to build lightscamerabrand.com and I love it. So I highly recommend Squarespace, especially if you want to get serious about SEO because they have so many plug and play tools. Let's go back to Instagram strategy, content creation, and the overwhelm. We have seen with the TikTok ban and how it got lifted like 24 hours later, and then it might go into effect again. We know and have experienced that social media is not ours to own. It's rented land, but your website and your email list is the only thing online that is yours. So if TikTok does go away, Instagram were to go away, whatever happens, your website is still standing, and your email list is how you can get in communication with all of your previous followers, right? Which we can do an episode about building out email lists if you want. I actually did one with a woman named Kendra probably 6 months ago, and it's an amazing episode, but if you guys want me to teach on it too, I can. I've built my email list up since 2018, I believe. But anyway, so the point is, your website is the most important thing online, and it should take priority over social media, but it is really hard when social media is so much more exciting and shiny, and you get the instant gratification and you get the dopamine hit when you get a new follower or you get likes. But on the other end, as a business owner, when it's framed that we have to use Instagram and do TikToks in order to grow our business, that's just one mindset and one opinion. But I think that you can grow your business simply through search engine optimization on your whole website. But today we're going to be talking about blog posts because I don't have SEO across my whole website. I hired someone a couple of years ago to do it, and it kind of messed up my website for a while. Actually, like a bunch of my links are broken. So I am just talking right now about blogging in particular. Okay. And the great thing is once your whole website, let me go back actually, once your whole website is done, it's done. You don't have to update it, especially if it's a reflection of your true branding, your true artistic voice. Again, lightscamerabrand.com if you want to know how to do that. All you really have to do is like swap out images every couple of years and keep up your blog. And that is by publishing new blog posts every time you want to share a gallery. Every month in Seattle, I host a women in photography networking group. It's totally free. And I got a question that was, why do people blog different galleries versus just having one page on your website dedicated to separate subjects? I have done audits on hundreds of photography websites, and a really common thing is, you might even have this on your own, is to just have individual pages like on a drop down menu that say graduation, wedding, engagement, headshot, and you click into each page and there's a gallery of all of your best headshots, and it's like a portfolio style. This can be okay, but it's giving nothing for SEO. Like maybe it's giving a little bit because you can optimize that page for SEO using Squarespace plug and play, But when you can blog each individual gallery, you increase your chances of actually being found from somebody who wants to book that subject. An amazing example actually is 2 years ago, I think I did a author headshot photo shoot, and my blogging has changed even in the last like 6 months, but I just uploaded all the photos. I did a little description. I said Ballard author headshots, I believe, in the title. Again, it's nothing intense. And I booked another client shortly after that who was also an author in Ballard, randomly. And Ballard is a neighborhood in Seattle. And then I had 2 other inquiries shortly after of people who did not book, but they did inquire about author headshots from that one Ballard Seattle blog post that was not super well done. I don't know why I haven't even blogged the other author. I should. I'm like preaching to the choir right now. But do you see how me taking literally 10-30 minutes max from start to totally finish building out one blog post, I can book essentially that same subject and like rinse and repeat? Whereas with Instagram, I'm going to be opening my app, overthinking what I'm going to post. I'm going to post the headshots, but like, where does it really go? It's just a headshot on my profile. People can't really search. You can make an argument and say, well, now Instagram has SEO capabilities and now they have like a similar TikTok search engine bar, whatever. But the reality is that's always changing, and not everybody has that because sometimes with the updates, different things roll out. The point is, 30 minutes on one dedicated blog post for me to essentially get the same kind of client over and over in Ballard for authors, and authors too, like authors, real estate agents. Those professions are amazing for word of mouth because the community is really tight knit because they're constantly networking. And if they have an amazing experience with you, they're going to refer you to other people. So when they refer you to the other agents, if you can have them go to your website and they see a couple of galleries, blog posts that are other real estate agents with all the examples and imagery versus going to your Instagram and maybe you haven't posted any real estate photos in a while and they're kind of like, well, I don't really need like a family photographer. Do you just see how much like we're one step ahead, right? So going back to answering the question of why do people blog different galleries versus just having one page on your website dedicated to separate subjects, blog posts are important because it's more specific for the location or the venue, the subject, right? Like the example with the authors. So for example, like on your website, like I said, SEO happens across your whole website, not only blog posts, but we're just going to be talking about blogs in this episode. Your website will say Seattle wedding photographer, these very broad terms. But in the blog posts, you can get more specific and say light and airy. So like the editing style you go for, backyard wedding, the type of wedding, or like micro wedding. And then you can have the location in Kashmir, Washington, wine country. So you can see how we can get more specific about the types of photo shoots we do. But a big thing is you don't want to use jargon that only photographers will understand. So for example, light and airy is a commonly searched editing style that brides will know and know to search for. So they might search bright and airy, they might search film or like documentary inspired, maybe, even if that's not necessarily like editing style, that's what a bride has been hearing from TikTok and Pinterest, and so that's the look they're going for. They might also search moody or bright and colorful. Those are great ways to describe your editing style, but you don't want to get too into it where I can't even think of an example right now, to be honest, you guys. But let's say it was like Portra 400 inspired wedding. I don't know, like somebody's not going to know, a client's not going to know what kind of film stock that is, and it's going to be irrelevant and like wasted characters, wasted space. So okay, let's go back to my infamous blog post that has brought me so many inquiries. I have 2 blogs on my website, both with Columbia University graduation students. One post is from 6 years ago, and we did not go to the Columbia University campus. He wanted photos in Central Park with the cherry blossoms. It's so cute, and he's wearing like a suit, super nice, like LinkedIn vibes as well. Then the other post is from 2022, so 3 years ago. So these 2 blog posts are 3 years apart. I'll read the blog post in a second so you can see how easy and simple it was. And last summer, 2024, I had 12 inquiries come in because of that particular Columbia University blog post from 3 years ago. Let's say I did get some inquiries in 2023, but when I really saw the traction was last year. So that's like a 2-year gap. And now this year, 2025, I started getting inquiries for Columbia grads in December and multiple times a week, where now when I'm recording this, the beginning of April, I'm still getting Columbia University inquiries, and I want to take them, but I have experienced some not even low-key trauma, like actual trauma that is making me really scared to like visit New York again. I'm not saying it's like a New York, it didn't even happen in New York. It happened somewhere else in the Northwest, but like maybe next year I will have worked through it with my therapist. But I refer everybody to one of my best friends there. So anyway, it was specifically over graduation season. So last April, May, March, April, May, even some in June, I was really getting the inquiries. And now they started in December, which is really interesting. So let's read that particular blog post that got me those inquiries. And I know it's because of this one instead of the one from 6 years ago with that guy, because Google Analytics tells me. Here's the title of the blog post: Christina, Columbia University master's degree graduation portrait session. I shouldn't have even put her name in it because the names are irrelevant when it comes to a blog post. Use other keywords that are more like searchable. Christina graduated from Columbia University with her master's degree in physical therapy, and we did her portraits on the university's campus on graduation weekend with her family. Columbia is such a gorgeous location, and the entire Upper West Side is its campus. You can view how I photographed a male graduation from Columbia here in Central Park, and that was linked back to the blog post from 6 years ago of the graduate in Central Park. The next paragraph reads, I attended college in Manhattan, and there's nothing like having the entire city as your college campus. Here's a gallery from NYU, in parentheses, New York University, graduation session in Washington Square Park. And then I linked that to a session in Washington Square Park, and another Upper West Side at Fordham University and Lincoln Center. And I linked that to that corresponding post. If you're interested in booking a photo shoot with me, you can discover my packages and pricing here. That linked to my booking page. And then I listed the gear that I used with affiliate links. And then I wrote, P.S. Are you a photographer who's going to do a photo shoot in NYC soon? I share my favorite spots in my NYC location guide, and that hyperlinks to a PDF product I have on my site. So you can see that this blog post is really simple. And I don't even use in this blog post alt text, which Google describes as in a short description added to images on a web page that improves both web accessibility and SEO by helping visually impaired users understand images and allowing search engines to index image content. So that's when you hover over an image, and do you ever see that there's a little bit of text that pops up? And this is where you can actually take advantage and write out like Columbia University graduation session. I haven't even done that. And this blog consistently, if I was especially living in New York, it would be my like money maker, right? Like my bread and butter. Oh, and for those who might be confused, I live in Seattle. So I used to live in New York, and I used to travel back and forth like twice a year to do clients, but I haven't done that in a while because of some traumatic things that happened to me. Now, when it comes to the images themselves for the blog post, you're going to want to use the narrative blogging software. It's an affordable software, and what you do is you're uploading all your files to the program. You're dragging and dropping them. It's like a smart grid. It's amazing. I've been using it for years and years and years. I don't know how many years, but it's probably coming on 5 or 6 now. That way, you are not uploading individual files to your Squarespace blog, which can take a long time. No matter how small the files are, it's still a very tedious process to click upload. Okay, upload the photo, wait for it to upload, click no caption, and then have to like adjust it, snap it to the grid. Using narrative is so much faster. Plus, they also have built-in SEO tools, so you can even do, I believe, alt text within narrative. It's an amazing, amazing program. I think that everybody should check it out. If there's anything you do after this podcast to blog, any resource you use, go to the link in the description box below, and I have like some kind of code with them. Like I said, I've been using it for so many years. I've worked with them before. It's amazing, and it will save you so much time. And the best thing is that it doesn't upload all the photos once it's on the blog. It doesn't upload it as one big collage. It's uploading as individual photos. So for Pinterest, you can pin each individual image, versus if you were to build it out in Photoshop or Canva, you'd be pinning the entire gallery as an image. So it is amazing. It is genius. I love narrative. The blogging tool is incredible. So let's talk about a couple other blog post ideas. Oh, you know what? We should first say, of course, you can use ChatGPT to help you with blog posts, but what I recommend instead is Google Gemini if you're going to use any AI to help you write out blog posts. And remember, you also need to instruct them. There's probably there are so many videos on YouTube that will teach you how to efficiently blog using ChatGPT or Google Gemini. But what I love about Gemini is that it is owned by Google. It's a Google program. So I personally use Gemini when it comes to SEO, and this also includes YouTube because YouTube is owned by Google. So if I'm going to be needing help with a title for a YouTube video or description for the YouTube video or keywords, I'm using Gemini, which is owned by Google because it's Google Gemini, over ChatGPT. So I recommend it also for SEO in general, Gemini over ChatGPT. All this being said, have other blog posts that are not about individual galleries. This was an amazing tip that was shared in an episode I did with my friend Kat about SEO, and it will be linked down below as well. And she suggested blog like 3 photo shoot location ideas. So let's say you're going to blog 3 of the best Seattle cherry blossom spots, right? And then you just upload your photos in that blog post from those locations. If you shot there already, it makes it even easier. So I suggest starting with locations you shot at. If you haven't yet, you can always go to the location and take a really beautiful horizontal image of the spot. Or If it's a pretty ambiguous spot, like a cherry blossom location, and you know the type of cherry blossom tree that's there, and you have a photo of a close-up of somebody standing in front of the same type of cherry blossom tree, just upload that one as that specific location, right? It doesn't matter. It's a close-up of the same type of tree. So you share your images in the blog post. This is the most important part for any of your blog posts. You link out to the previous blog posts that have the full gallery. So let's say I'm going to do 3 New York City locations. I have the West Village, I have Central Park South, and I have the Brooklyn Bridge. I have some images from each location, and with the images, I write a paragraph about the location, why I love it. I use SEO terms like Manhattan, NYC, Brooklyn Bridge, da-da-da-da-da. You can use Gemini or ChatGPT to help you write it, but don't rely on it just to write the blog post for you, because I feel like there could be a time when we get penalized for that, because maybe this is just me, like, not to be like conspiracy or whatever, but I could see how with Google it can detect when things are written solely with like ChatGPT and AI, and I don't know if you can get penalized for that. But anyway, it can be an amazing tool to help you. And so you have your images, you can link those images to the previous post, but in that blurb, in that paragraph about the West Village and why you like it, use hyperlinks within that paragraph to link back to the full galleries in your blog post. A very important thing to do as well is to break up your blog post visually using headers, subheaders, and body text. And with Squarespace, you can upload your photo and change the design to have like text overlaid, text on the side. That's another great visual way to break it up. Now, do you see how this could occupy a lot of your time, but there's an actual return on investment that is almost guaranteed when you do it right, and it's not instantly going to book you clients. A very important thing to keep in mind is that blogging is for the long game. It wasn't until 2 years after that Columbia University graduation post I did that got me dozens of inquiries. Well, those inquiries didn't come in until 2 years after the post went up. So it's for the long game. But how many of you can say that clients are going to go to your Instagram and scroll down 2 years and book you from an Instagram post from 2 years ago? It's not going to happen. Instagram, TikTok, it's all amazing for consistency. But I tell my closest friends, she's getting so annoying at this point. I'm just kidding. But she's like, I'm struggling with my Instagram strategy. What do I do? I'm like, don't try to talk to me about Instagram until for the 10th time, dude, you blog a freaking gallery. She's like, I know. I'm sending this to her. You know who you are. But seriously, if we can focus on building out what we own on our website, we can get consistent clients. Girls and gays, like, listen up. Blogging your galleries is how you will continue to book consistent clients. Instagram is always the lowest priority. Your website needs to come first. And if your website itself is missing key important information, like, go to your homepage of your website right now, and I want you to tell me, does it have what city you're based in, your name, and what kind of photography you do before you even scroll down? Most likely you have a beautiful photo and maybe a quote or your business name, but upon first glance, a client is not able to determine where you live, what photography you do, and what your name is. Those are key pieces of information you need to have on your site, and it's so simple, right? Like, oh my gosh, how did I not have this on my site before? But you'd be surprised what is most likely missing, and this is coming from somebody who has audited hundreds of photography websites over the past 10 years of me teaching photography online. So you can grab that website checklist down in the description box below, as well as everything else I talked about in this episode. I'll have other podcast links, blogging resources, the narrative blog tool. Everything will be in the description box below. I believe in you and I believe in your business. That's why I'm sitting down to give you the tough love, to do the boring thing, and to not focus on social media right now. Put that time and energy that we are stressing about coming up with the perfect feed, the perfect captions, da-da-da-da. Instagram, like I said so many times, great for consistency, but we cannot rely on it. Put that time instead into blogging your galleries and start slow. Make it a goal for yourself to do 3 blog posts in a weekend. You don't have to do it all at once, and you also don't have to blog every gallery that you photograph. I actually don't blog many of my galleries, just the galleries that you want to book more of. I hope that this can help you out. I know that it will. Why am I even saying I hope? I know that this could be the move for your business and the sign that you need to sit down, buckle up, lock in, and get started with blogging your galleries. If you made it this far in the episode, be sure to pop over to Spotify and leave a 5-star review and a rating over on Apple Podcasts. This helps push out this amazing free resource to other photographers who need it. Don't forget to check out lightscamerabrand.com if you want to learn how to brand your photography business to attract your ideal clients, especially if you're a photographer who values creativity. lightscamerabrand.com. Thanks for listening to the Build and Bloom Photography Podcast. This podcast episode is brought to you by my Business Basics class. I teach you the 8 essential steps to get your business legal and legit so you can watch it bloom. You'll learn the basics of what is an LLC and the first steps to opening one up, opening a business bank account, how to find an accountant, what is bookkeeping and how can you do it yourself to save some money, what contracts and legal documents to consider and where you can buy them, the starting point for saving for your retirement, how to find a financial advisor, and where to start looking for business insurance. When you avoid getting all these ducks in a row, you are risking getting sued, paying more in taxes, and missing out on turning your income into more money. Head to jessicawhitaker.co/businessbasics to enroll.